Alright, good morning everybody. So, I'm very tired this morning. Started a new workout regimen and everything. Yeah, shit's been kicking my butt. Anyways, let's get into it. So, I believe, yeah, he had point A to point B based off structure, and we were stating that H1 was looking kind of sloppy. Sorry, we were going on H4, but now, considering the fact that daily has been pushing up hard, we have some good volume now, finally. And this candle right here, in the monthly candle, so definitely a nice, just sense of direction now, overall. And with weekly, we do see, like we mentioned, that this is a area of support. We have it labeled right here. And again, a lot of volume in one direction. We even see the SMA and EMA kind of in more like a range per se, so we really aren't using this as a sense of momentum at this point in time. If it was something like this, yeah, for sure. But on this weekly time frame, because you see how the 20 EMA or MA is just kind of moving sideways, more or less indicating a good range. So this is why we're just sticking to strictly candlestick analysis. Now on to the daily time frame. For one, let's just see. Can we? Yeah, so there's definitely a trend line. Probably not gonna leave it permanent on here, but just to be aware that if this candle definitely closes more bullish, depending on how this closes above this trend line, definitely could be considered a break of all this counter trend line. And on top of that, we are really having a strong, not strong, but where the SMA and EMA are coming closer together. So if we can have this crossover, then this will definitely indicate a lot more bullish momentum, and we can finally start anticipating a new higher high point based off of this entire structure. Because all of these points right here is just noise, and this is just 100% retrace. So going down, we do see a level of major support right here. Just a little bit of consolidation area, so we're gonna see how that looks here. Yeah, so this is just an area of support, I would more or less say. Not necessarily anything strong, because it doesn't look like any sort of structure point on a higher time frame. It just looks like an area of support. So what we can do is, because we are finding an area of resistance right here, we can modify this fib up a little bit. So we have now our point A. Let me see if I can just drag this right here, and our point B now right here. And because we do have 2 points that can be major higher low points, let's see if we can even draw a nice trend line as well, just for visual representation on what direction we need to be going in overall. Okay, so that it definitely does look like we are starting to find that this area right here is definitely valid. we do have breaks of these minor levels of support right in here. So this could be a nice trend line. So where we could be looking at for some sort of entries is right around here. At this area right here. And around this trend line area. So we have a few indications. And again, we're also sticking now to more like lower time frames just to see how this is forming, because you're already seeing that this is really showing a lot of bullish momentum right here as well, but simply of how this is closing. All right, so yeah, we're sticking to like lower time frames, and as when we start breaking levels of resistance, we can definitely start looking for an entry. US30. So yesterday we were definitely stating that this counter trend right here. Yeah, it did not quite make it to that negative 27%. We did respect the main level of support right here. But we, like we did mention, is we needed to pay attention to how this was forming. So because this was all on M30, and we know that it was a counter trend to H4. Once we definitely started seeing areas like this where we were starting higher low points and starting breaks levels of resistance, a good indication that it's time to get out, and that this is now counter trending to the M30. Now, when this higher low point formed right here, along with how higher time frames was forming, a lot of exhaustion. A lot of sellers exhaustion right here added a level of support. Let's just a good indication onto a sense of direction. Now I didn't catch that. This was all also news, and according to the FTMO challenge, definitely can't trade news based off the account that I have. So I would have had to be already out of this regardless. But yes, after seeing that higher low point, this push right up here, this right here would have been your entry, and your stop loss would have been down here. Okay, and then pretty easy to maintain. As soon as you can either get out to where M30 made some sort of resistance and then re-enter and reanalyze, simply because there was no real sense of a target projection. Right. So if M30 started making levels of resistance, or you could have just held based off of M30. Considering the fact that this broke and everything like that. All right. So real simple. Now what we are in is the main trend. So as long as we maintain these areas like this right here, this major level of support, M30 really hasn't found a strong level, but like I said, our previous fibs right here, A to B, so we did hit negative 27%. Our next projection is 61.8%, and our overall projection is at first negative 27% based off of H4, and seeing that there is a little bit of confluence right here, and this is its all-time high too, so we are definitely being cautious here, right? In fact, let's see if I can label this. I can. Yeah, that looks good. Just so we're aware for sure. That's all it is. So right now we are still in this nice trend right now, right? Let's move on to gold. Oh, excuse me. Gold, gold, gold. So yeah, this is still within like range, even though we were basing H4 off this um off of structure. Overall, it's still on this daily 100% range. Seeing also how um this closed yesterday, and we all have a lot of bullish volume here, and the SMA and EMA is getting closer. But let's break this down a little bit from the top. So we have a lot of sellers exhaustion right here, and some bullish volume starting to come in. I'm not really worried about this SMA and EMA because it's just been so close. So this could just, keep on intertwining, just like it did here, or similar case where it did here, where it maintained the structure. But this is on a much higher time frame. So all this is kind of right now doing is just ranging, just because of how close it is. Weekly time frame, similar situation like we were stating, the fact that on like GJ, where this is not really giving us a sense of direction or momentum per se, especially now of how this is looking like they're both just completely sideways. So this really just helps verify that this is definitely within range. But if you see here though too, the fact that we only have today and tomorrow, and if this candle closes like how it's closing, where it's a lot of bullish or seller's exhaustion, and especially if this can close above this previous candle right here, not necessarily this doji, but definitely above this candle, then this right here could be considered more like a higher low point. And now that we are starting to have higher low points, even being shown on the weekly time frame, overall we would be looking for buys. We already stated the fact that daily is on an uptrend. So if you wanted to, this would be where you would place your fibs. Point A to point B. We are at a 100% retrace as well. So you just have to keep all that in mind. So let's see how H1 looks, because now we do have a some resistance right here that is obviously going to be shown on H1, and considering of how this is looking and forming. So we're not going to necessarily use H4. That was just for in the meantime. While all this looks like kind of sloppy and everything, but we are having like a sense of it. But look at where we are now though too. We are at a level of resistance again at the top of the range. All right. Hasn't even. Man, does not. Yeah, I wouldn't even say it's broken anything yet. To verify that this is like an actual area of resistance on the higher time frames. Yeah, it hasn't even broken any minor levels, so. We are starting to definitely have some volume come in, though. Yeah, I mean, let's just see. Like, you can look at it two ways. Either the fact that, that this is, still on a downtrend right here. Yeah, and our whole goal is to close at negative 27%. Or you can see the fact that this, kept on breaking areas of resistance, and not necessarily the fact that we found an area of support, but start having this sort of bias based off of how daily time frame is forming. I would more or less like stick to this daily time frame and volume and such like that, because even though this is on a downtrend, what could happen is something like this, to where H4 is technically on a downtrend. H1's already broken structure, to where it forms some sort of higher low point and then continues. I don't even want to say like a breakout, but like forms some sort of higher low point, indicating more bullish volume starting to come into play. Right now, this is still like sideways movement, and we are at the top of this range. So it makes it like a bit difficult to really trade. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, there's no lower time frames is still maintaining structure as of right now. So I would say this is just more or less like a pair to keep an eye on and wait and see what happens. Okay. But other than that, that's about it for this morning. Definitely. Oh yeah, you see, I already took off. Yeah. What? Um. Anyways, it is what it is. Yeah. Kind of like wondering US30 looks. Anyways, yeah, that already took off. Apparently. So, at least we know the analysis is on point. Right. Anyways, let's have a good day, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.